Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is disproportionate. So recently I had a situation that I needed to address, and while it was something that was really important to me, the truth is it was not a life and death situation, it was not all that earth-shattering, and it was a fairly cut and dried situation that needed to be attended to. But what I found happened for me was that as soon as I anticipated that I needed to do something about it, I started to get myself worked up into an emotional and mental lather. And what was really interesting was that the anticipation of the intensity of it was completely disproportionate to the reality of the situation. And I found myself watching this reaction and going, this is just bizarre. Like, I know mentally and I know intellectually that the way that I'm responding to this is completely disproportionate to the truth of the situation. And yet, I was still experiencing that. And I was thinking about how, if I was not aware that it was really disproportionate, it could easily have stopped me in my tracks. I could have easily just decided that it was too scary, that it was too intense, that it was too much, and I could have just basically just shut down the whole thing. Whereas because I could look at it and go, there's something kind of funky about the way I'm responding to this. It does not seem to compute that the amount of intense energy I'm putting into this and the reality of the situation, they're just not equal. Maybe I need to feel the fear and do it anyway, because maybe this fear, maybe this reaction is about something completely unrelated to what this is about. And for some reason, it's just overlapping. Because I have definitely noticed that a lot of times there can be experiences where the past overlaps with the present, where our family of origin stories are overlapping, where maybe past life experiences are overlapping, as well as the world at large just affecting the way we're feeling about something. And sometimes you hit the mother lode. And in this particular case, I had the perfect storm. There was past experiences from my childhood that were influencing the way I was anticipating things. And it was like, instead of the adult imagining what would happen, there was this 9-year-old who was all triggered, who was projecting a story that had nothing to do with this onto this experience. And then it felt like there was also a whole bunch of family stories about how my family responds to certain things, and a certain amount of pressure that was coming from that to do it in a different way, even though the truth is that's not my story and it's not how I've handled things for a very, very long time, really, if ever. On top of that, we have this whole sort of stress and tension going on in the world around us right now, and Mercury, Pluto, and Jupiter are all retrograde. And there was also this feeling of familiarity, as if I'd been through something similar, or actually not even something like that similar, but that there was this feeling from another experience that was entirely different, that felt like it was coming from another time and another place. For me, it feels like it was probably a past life experience, but more and more we're coming to understand that we carry the traumas, we carry the experience of our ancestors in our DNA. And so if somebody in our genetic line, in our heritage, experienced something, a lot of times we are going to feel that at some low rumble within ourselves. So for whatever reason, or for all of these reasons, I was experiencing this thing where this seemingly benign event was somehow like attached, almost like a piece of fabric or paper that had gotten folded over. And so even though the point that I was at here wasn't that big a deal, it was touching these other places where there were really big deals that were connected to it. And if I had not acknowledged that those other things were contributing, I think it would have been extremely easy for me to basically put the brakes on and not move forward, because if I didn't recognize how my reaction was disproportionate, I could have easily just decided that it was too scary, it was too dangerous, and it was too intense. Whereas the truth is, when I finally did go through the situation, it was really not a big deal. It was pretty anticlimactic compared to what I expected. But I also kind of knew that my reaction and what I was going to experience was not going to be about this, and that basically this intense response was really about something else that needs healing, that needs to be cleared, that needs to be addressed. So my question to you is, do you find yourself having times where your emotional response, where your mental response is completely disproportionate to the circumstances that you're dealing with right now? Where it's like what you were about to deal with and embark on or address has nothing to do with how you are feeling emotionally and mentally. And can you sort that out? Can you recognize when other factors are contributing to your emotional response to something? And do you have the ability to recognize it and move forward anyway? Or is that reaction basically putting the emergency brakes on and stopping you from being able to do the things that you need to do? So I would love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below. And until next word of the day, I am wishing you peace and ease and clarity about when things are disproportionate to the reality of the situation. So in the meantime, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jennifer Moore, Modern Medicine Lady, and also I'll be ever so grateful for your help to get this video out into the world. Please help me share it with the people who would find it useful. So like this, share this, and pass it along to your friends and family. Thank you so very much, and until next word of the day, I am wishing you peace.